right now?
DraftKings
What's
right
the
now,
line right now?
It's 4.5. The
4.5.
Seahawks are the favorite, 4.5. The total in the game is 45.5. I locked in. I wish I would have locked in 3.5, but I couldn't get it fast enough.
Yeah.
I locked in 4.5 as soon as I could. I think the Seahawks, I think we're going to look at this game at the end and be like, wow, the Seahawks were actually a very special team. And we were talking a lot about the Rams. And yes, the Seahawks were the second best team, but they weren't that far off from the Rams.
Yeah, I see what I understand it. I've read all the stats as well. You know, defensively, the points per game that Seattle has put up, like essentially for the Seahawks, the only flaw that they have going into this game is the unknown of Sam Darnold. That's it. Special teams, they're great. The defense, I think that's where if Darnold plays the way he did in the NFC Championship game, you're right. It's going to be Seahawks running away with it, and they will absolutely win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt in my mind that that's the case. But with that said, in the way I view this matchup is with the underdog momentum of the Patriots in a one-game situation, which we've seen in the past, albeit with a different head coaching staff, that's kind of something that the Belichick era Patriots thrived on.
Yeah.
And so if Vrabel can muster up that, the Patriots do have the better quarterback going into this contest. Drake May is the better player than Sam Darnold. So if they can turn it into a game where the Patriots are scoring points, they've got a chance. I can understand both sides of it. I can understand what you're selling, that there is, for the most part, all of the statistics team-wise point to Seattle.
Yeah.
They also have the lesser of the two quarterbacks. And I think that matters in a game like this.
Yes, but I also go off of what I've seen recently. And we did that with the Rams defense. And we talked about how the Rams defense, weeks 1 through the halfway point of the season, were one of the top units in the NFL. And then from the midway point through the end of the season, we saw that they were one of the bottom half units in the NFL. And that's why you got such a high scoring game, such a back and forth game between them and the Seahawks. And the Seahawks still found a way to win that game. You saw the second game between the Seahawks and the Rams. The Rams put up 500 points or 500 yards of offense against the Seahawks defense, and they still found a way. The Seahawks still put up more points than the Rams because their defense started to fall off early or late in the season. And so I think that right now, Sam Darnold is playing better football than Drake May. Right now, Sam Darnold doesn't take the sacks that Drake May does. Drake May has been sacked 5 times in every postseason game so far this playoffs.
Yeah.
And he turns the ball over. He did it in the AFC Championship game. But that was a blizzard for the last quarter and a half, and he managed to hold on to the football. But before that, in the 2 other playoff games, he was a turnover machine. And if you do that early in the playoff, in the Super Bowl, you're not going to win. If you get sacked 5 times in the Super Bowl by this Seattle defense, you're not going to win. So right now, in the last 3 games that I've seen from both of these teams, Sam Darnold is playing better football than Drake May. He just is. Drake May might be the better player overall. But right now, from what I've seen, Sam Darnold, in the small sample size, that is and I get it, it's recency bias. I'll be the first to admit it. It absolutely is. But Sam Darnold right now is the better player.
Yeah, no, I can't argue. Like you say, right now is the better player. He's had a better playoff run.
Yeah.
Than Drake May.
Okay.
That doesn't mean he's the better player.
No, but look at
long term, the better player is Drake May.
Yes. But look at when we go back to Super Bowls, like we talk about, okay, Joe Flacco had that crazy playoff run. Joe Flacco's not a great quarterback.
No.
But he had an insane playoff run and they won a Super Bowl.
He got on a heater.
Okay.
No doubt.
Sam Darnold.
Not a Hall of Fame player.
Absolutely not.
Right? So, like, it's something that...
But Sam Darnold can go on a heater and win them a Super Bowl, even though Drake May's going to end up being a better player.
He's had 1 game.
Okay.
Because the divisional round, he wasn't on a heater.
You say he's had 1 game, but we went over this last week. The last 2 seasons, he's been top 10 in yards and touchdowns in the NFL. You act like this is some anomaly for Sam Darnold.
No,
this is not. Sam Darnold has been fixed. Justin Jefferson just came out. Justin Jefferson just came out.
Give it to me. What did he say?
The wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes,
talked
probably
to USA
the
Today.
best wide receiver in football.
Talked to USA Today and said that the Vikings would have been better off if they kept Sam Darnold this season than if they had J.J. McCarthy.
Boy, could you imagine McCarthy seeing that?
Come on. Like, what are we like? You don't say that about your current, like you don't say that about your former quarterback.
No.
He said, "I'm rooting for the Seahawks." Like, yes, you can say you're rooting for the Seahawks because
Yeah,
he's
your
your
guy.
Yeah,
They're
of course.
friends. I
but
get
you
that.
can't say we would have been better off. You knew the playbook, you knew the players, throwing to me, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, all these guys. I definitely feel like we would have done better. You can't say that.
That's a wild quote to be on the record to say that. Meanwhile, like everything that's gone on in the last week with the Vikings, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah out as GM.
Yeah.
The stories that came out over the weekend about the infighting and the power plays that are taking place. Too bad this isn't in Buffalo because Pagula doesn't appreciate power plays, but it seems like there was a bit of a power play taking place in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And to come out and say that when J.J. McCarthy is essentially the reason this is all taking place because of his lack of success. I think it's a bit of a stretch to suggest that Sam Darnold is, quote, fixed.
It's been 2 years. What more?
I think he is exactly what he is. He's a quarterback who can play well, but for the most part, he's a mid quarterback. He's not disastrous anymore. I think that's the way that I view
fixed? To go from what he was with the Jets and seeing ghosts.
Well, yeah, but that's also a young quarterback.
To being in the Super Bowl.
Think about how many young quarterbacks you've seen.
Definition of fixed.
How many quarterbacks have you seen in league history that when they start, they're terrible?
Okay.
It happens. You and I are from Chicago. We've seen many where that happens to them.
Yeah.
Not many have really turned out to be anything. But the Jets are the same type of franchise. The Browns are just in that conversation.
This isn't an anomaly like he made the Super Bowl last year with the Vikings, and you're like, okay, it's a 1-year fluke. This is 2 years in a row. This is 2 years of sample size. Like, that's not a small amount. This is 2 full years worth of sample. He's fixed. He's fixed.
Better. He's better. If you want to join us, you can call us at 310-840-4910. I'm just not comfortable in saying that he's absolutely fixed at this point. I just don't think that we're quite there yet. Now, we may say that Monday next week, and I'll give you that credit. Next Monday.
So one more game?
Yeah, next Monday. If that's the case, I'll give you the credit. I'll say, hey, Abdalla, you were right. Sam Darnold's fixed, if that's the case. That's absolutely what's going to take place. It's Bleck Abdalla. We're live here on Radio Row in San Francisco on Westwood One Sports.